Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm so glad to see you again. Thank you for coming. Tonight we are continuing the series about unwritten rules in Japan. A little default settings that can make daily life smooth. And just a quick note before we start. They are common expectations, not strict laws. And of course, not every Japanese person follows them all the time. Japan is not perfect. And people break manners here too, like anywhere else, you know? So think of this video as a gentle guide to help you understand what's often expected and avoid awkward moments in Japan. In this part 2, I will share 10 everyday unwritten rules, from trains and convenience stores to trash sorting, taxis, and even a word you will hear every day, everywhere. Okay, excited? Good. Let's begin. Number 1. When you are stuck, go to a convenience store first. It's not just a convenience store. In many countries, a convenience store is just a place to grab foods and drinks, right? But in Japan, it can feel like a mini life support system. Of course, you can buy food and drinks, but it doesn't stop there. You can use an ATM, pay certain bills, send packages from small one to big one, and print documents almost any time. And here's the part that surprises many people. In many cities, you can even get official certificates at a convenience store with a My Number card, which is a card, individual card to prove yourself, you know. We have one card each person if you are Japanese, okay? The multi-function copy machine can issue things like a copy of your resident record and sometimes other certificates too, depending on your city and what you need. It's really helpful. So I don't have to go to our city office. I can get certificates if I go to our convenience store and handle the machine. You can get it. So it doesn't replace a city office, of course, but it can handle certain documents quickly when you need them. Here is a little rule of thumb. When you're stuck or you need something, check the nearest convenience store first. And you might know that Japan has lots of convenience stores. If you live in a major city or big city, you can find a convenience store in 3 minutes or 5 minutes for walk. It's very, very convenient. Even if you live in rural area, except to the top of a mountain, you can find it like 5 or 10 minutes by car. You will see that. It's not just a store. Yes, it sells food and drinks, but it also has stationery, of course, sanitary products, of course, cosmetics, of course, even underwear. It's like a mini public service counter too. A blind shop like that. A place that saves you when you are in a pinch, all in one. And once you get used to it, like me, you will see why people rely on convenience stores so much. I cannot imagine my life without convenience stores in Japan. Okay, move on. Number 2, trust the timetable of trains. Plan in minutes. Japan's train culture is famously punctual. You might know that, right? In many areas, timetables work down to the minute. And even small delays may come with an apology announcement. I feel like, no, you don't have to be sorry. I am like that, but every trains is like that. But here is the key detail. The punctuality. The punctuality is nationwide, while the extreme crowding is mostly a big city experience, especially during rush hour. So you can imagine that punctual trains coming in the rush hour. People are gathering on time. What's happening? So if you are in Tokyo, Osaka, or other major hubs, cities, expect trains to be very on time and very packed at certain times. If you are outside the big cities, you will enjoy the punctual schedules, but the crowd level can feel completely different. So punctual schedule it's very good. But sometimes it's very, oh my gosh, like that, because punctual people, punctual train are matching and crowded, So when I met a packed train for the first time, it was like when I was 18 years old. I couldn't, breathe. I'm kind of a tall woman, so I can save my face like that. But if I was small, now I couldn't. I think I couldn't breathe. It's very dangerous sometimes. So if you visit to Japan as a sightseeing or something like that, I recommend that don't choose the train on rush hour. Please don't do that. It's gonna be dangerous, especially in Tokyo. Okay? Alright. Number 3. Match the volume zone of the space. Now let's talk about the sound. In previous video, I talked about the sound too. But today is a little bit different. Instead of saying Japan is quiet, I think it's more accurate to say Japan often has volume zone. Different places have different default sound levels. And people tend to match the space. But don't worry, it's not too strict. For example, on a train, in a clinic waiting room, or inside a small shop, the usual level is whisper to soft voice, like this. そういえばこの間さ、動物園に行ったんだけど、そうすごい可愛いライオンがいて、みたいな。Like this, okay? In cafes or restaurants, is often soft to normal, depending on the vibe. So, for example, like this. この前のすごい喫茶店すごい美味しかったから、今日はちょっとここにしてみたんだよね。Like this, one more loud, it's okay. So it's not always be quiet. It's more like match the space and give strangers a little privacy through sound. If you remember this one idea, you can avoid many awkward moments without trying too hard. Number 4, keep a little cash and coins when you go outside in Japan. Next is about money. Japan is becoming more cashless, but cash still matters in many everyday situations. Small shops, local places, and some older businesses may prefer cash. And there is one cultural moment where cash appears in a very Japanese way: shrines and temples. You might see a box there, which is kind of a big box, and people putting in coins and praying. They are not loud aloud, they are praying inside their mind. So the simplest way to understand it is this. It's a small offering, like a donation, a simple physical way to show gratitude and respect, and to say a quiet prayer or thank you to God or to someone who you believe in. There is no correct amount. Even a small coin is fine, but one each yen is not appropriate, I think. I would say it's at least, some people slow away 5 yen, but I recommend at least from 10 yen, 100 yen, something like that. Even a small coin is fine, as I said, because the meaning is in the intention, not the number. So one practical rule is carry a little cash and some coins just in case, and you will feel more prepared than you expected. Number 5, taxi apps help, but they are not guaranteed. Now it's about taxi. In Japan, taxis are very common, and in many situations, they are the main backpack option, especially when trains are inconvenient. But here's the important part. I want to say it in a way that stays accurate. Taxi fares are usually based on a base fare, plus additional charges by distance, and sometimes time-based charges in heavy traffic. And the exact details depend on the region. Also, at the late night hours, a late night surcharge may apply, depending on the area. Now about apps and Uber. In your country, Uber is common. In Japan, Uber usually means Uber taxi. You are calling a regular taxi with a licensed taxi driver, not a private Rideshare. Private ride-sharing is not common in Japan. That's why people here often use taxi apps. And some visitors also use Uber, mainly as a way to call a taxi, just a call. And I think the most major apps to call taxi is Go, G-O app. It's the most common apps in Japan, I think. One more real life thing, depending on the area, the time of day you might request a ride in an app. And they know much. This happens more easily outside major cities or late at night when there simply aren't enough cars nearby. If that happens, the most relatable option is very simple. Just call a local taxi company directly. If you don't know the numbers, you can ask staff of the station, or you can Google, you can look up, or you can ask neighbors or something like that. So, for example, my grandparents used to live in a rural area. So every time I visited them, they are like, okay, I call a taxi, and on the wall the number is little, taxi number. And when I say, okay, it's okay, I can call a taxi by app, like Go, they are like, no, it doesn't work. And I tried once, it doesn't work, So just remember, if you visit a rural area in Japan, probably the apps doesn't work because there are not enough cars. So in this case, just remember to call a local taxi company directly. Okay? So the practical rule is, apps are helpful, very helpful. But don't treat them as guaranteed. And if you are traveling somewhere rural, having a local taxi number can save you. Number 6. Many people leave their bags in a cafe or restaurant. This one surprises many people, and me too, actually. In Japan, in cafes or restaurant or fast casual restaurants, you will often see people leave their bag on the seat while they go to the restroom or walk up to order. Most people still take their phones and wallets, but sometimes you will even see laptops left on the table. Can you believe that? I'm Japanese, but I cannot believe that. And in many places, nothing happens. Surprisingly, people often trust that others won't take it. But this doesn't mean it's important for theft to happen, so personally, I don't do that. When I leave my seat, I take all my belongings with me. It's a small habit, and it keeps you safe anywhere in the world. Number 7. Trash rule belong to the town, not the country. Now, a very real living in Japan topic, trash. A lot of people assume trash sorting is a national rule. But in Japan, it's often city by city and sometimes even neighborhood based. In one area, you might be able to use almost any plastic bag, and in another, you may need to buy designated trash bags. Moreover, you need to buy different bags for different types of garbage. Wow! Collection days can also differ for burnable, non-burnable, plastics, and recyclable. For example, Monday is for burnable, Tuesday is for plastic, and Wednesday is day off, Thursday is for non-burnable, Friday is for blah blah, like that. So the rule is, don't assume you already know the system. Check the local guide from your city or town, or ask your building staff or neighbors. This one tiny habit prevents so much stress. Number 8. Bring time for paperwork. Next, paperwork stuff. Perhaps some people might see Japan as modern and high-tech. Actually, it's not. Some systems still rely heavily on paper documents at city offices and sometimes banks. You may be asked to fill forms by hand, and certain processes may involve a personal seal, and a stamp. We call it income. Income is a stamp to prove yourself. Yeah. Even if you are comfortable with digital life, the practical rule is bring extra time and expect paperwork. If you go in with that mindset, it feels less frustrating and more predictable. We are trying to less paperwork, but it's too slow. Yeah. Okay, number 9. Expect gift level wrapping. Now something lighter. Packaging wrapping. In Japan, packaging wrapping is often extremely neat, almost like a small gift. Even simple items can feel carefully wrapped, and for many visitors, it's surprisingly beautiful. However, while in the past in many places offered is free wrapping, but recently they have started charging for it. Personally, I think it's a great thing for the environment. Or, wrapping is certainly, job, right? And skills, right? So I think it's important to pay for them. So personally, it's good idea, I think. Okay, last one, number 10. Sumimasen can mean sorry, right? And thank you. What? And finally, a word you will hear anywhere, every day, anywhere. Sumimasen. Many learners translate it as I am sorry. And yes, it's correct. It can mean that, but in everyday life, it's also used as excuse me and even thank you. Or you can use it you want to call someone, like staff, shop staff, like that. すみません、ちょっと聞きたいことがあるんですけど、I have something to ask you. Excuse me, like that. For example, when someone helps you, you might hear すみません, meaning thank you and sorry for the trouble. they have both meanings. It can also be a polite way to get attention, as I just told you, like that. Excuse me. Sumimasen. So when you go to a restaurant, you choose a menu, right? And mostly we say sumimasen, menu いいですか? 注文いいですか? Excuse me, can I have a order, like that? Or a big fancy restaurant, you can just raise your hand while eye checking is enough. But standard restaurant or casual restaurants, you need to call a staff. Sumimasen. Or there are button to call. Or these days a laptop order is common, so you don't say anything. But it's a good way to remember Sumimasen has several meanings and a very useful word. Okay, so the rule is don't panic when you hear it. Sumimasen, sumimasen, sumimasen. Or, around here you will hear sumimasen a lot of times. It's often a soft social tool. Yeah, social tool to keep interactions smooth and gentle. Yes. So those were 10 everyday unwritten rules in Japan. Not right or wrong, just patterns you will see in Japan. If you enjoyed this series, tell me in the comments and tell me what surprised you most. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a calm and peaceful night. お疲れ様でした。おやすみ。